Good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. I am tilted a little bit different direction than usual, so your mind is not playing tricks on you. Got some weird glares in here. It's really sunny today. So anyway, this is a request video from one of my really great subscribers and commenters, Jill. And this is called The Narcissist Destroys You with Silence. This, of course, is about silent treatment. Silence is a beautiful thing, as all of us who got out of the narcissistic relationship can attest. It was beautiful those first few days when you broke away from this person and you could hear a pin drop and you were alone and you weren't with them anymore. That's what I experienced. And all that pressure and anxiety that you feel all along the relationship drops and it's just quiet. How nice is that? Silence can be a beautiful thing. And it's one of the biggest things you enjoy after the relationship ends with them. You get your silence back, you get your peace back. So there's the kind of silence that gives you peace, and then there's the kind of silence that shatters your peace. And that is what happened. When you were the toxic narcissist, you were in that entanglement, you had all kind of silence in your life, but none of it was the kind of silence that you wanted to have. The silence was, in fact, deafening and unspeakably destructive the entire time you were in that toxic entanglement. You see, silent treatment is one of the worst forms, in my opinion, of mental abuse that you can give somebody. And anybody who hasn't been through silent treatment, especially to the levels we were in, they don't understand. When you tell them that the person destroyed me with silence, they're like, "What are you talking about? Just by not talking to you? Grow up, get a backbone." That's what people say who don't understand and they're callous. They might say that. A normal person who doesn't understand it is at least decent is going to say, well, I don't totally understand that. Anyway, the silent treatment that the narcissist gives you is one of the most brutal tactics. It is destructive. It steals your peace. It does everything. So, what is silent treatment really telling you? Silent treatment, when you get this from any individual, is telling you simply, you don't matter. You don't matter and you mean nothing to whoever is being silent with you. You are small. You are insignificant. What you want doesn't matter. What you think doesn't matter. Who you are, irrelevant. They want you to feel this big. Someone who's giving you silent treatment simply does not care a lick about your emotions. They don't care about you at all. So that is basically what the purpose of the narcissist is. We know that after that famous love bomb, which is so just amazing and really not that amazing, as I say often, the love bomb, yeah, they're building you up and all of that stuff, and it feels good. But you really realize in retrospect, the love bomb was just what a healthy, good relationship should feel like, plus some extra roses and daisies. It just looks so good to us because of what comes after that. That's really, I think, the illusion of the love bomb. And I should do a video on that one now I'm thinking about it. I probably will. So anyway, this is this is to make you feel small, insignificant, meaningless, like you don't matter to them because you don't matter to them. But when you're in the entanglement, you think you do matter to them, and that's part of what makes it so puzzling. This person who loves me is doing this to me. So I'll get to that in a minute. So the way that they employ this, oftentimes, there's all manner of ways they can start out a silent treatment routine. And that can last minutes, hours, days, and some people have even said it can last weeks for them. I've heard of people saying that they went through 3 or 4 weeks of silent treatment with the narcissist. I never did. My relationship wasn't crazy long because I just couldn't take it. But people who are married to the narcissist, I can see that living with them, already captured, you're married, especially. Yeah, they can pretty much do whatever they want to you, including just say nothing for weeks on end. So I can imagine many people experience that. So one of the ways they can do this, though, they can start a fight out of nowhere in about nothing, and then go silent on you the rest of the day or however long. They might walk into the kitchen and you're at their house or whatever, and maybe you made some toast and one piece of the bread was a little bit smashed on the end from where you wrapped it back up and put it away. And because you smashed a little bit of the bread, a normal person, a healthy person, they don't even think a thing of it. They don't even mention it. But the narcissist might come in, grab the loaf of bread, flip out on you, and throw it across the room. And you don't hear from them the rest of the day because you smashed a piece of bread. These are the kind of things that the narcissist starts fights over. Nothing. You might have put the dishes away in the wrong place, That's a fight. We know that they do this to go out and see their other supply. It justifies to them, hey, this person's being mean to me, so I whip up a fight. They're being mean. I get to justify myself and go off and see the person behind their back. But they'll do this also just to give you punishing silent treatment. So they started a fight for no reason, blamed you, walked away, and guess what? You're not hearing anything the rest of the day. They also love to pull out silent treatment, I have found, when things are going just a little too well in the relationship. One of their favorite ways, because they have to throw a wrench into it, they've got to throw some chaos. So one of the things they'll do is, it's going too well, I don't like stability, I feel icky. They're going to start a problem and then they're going to go silent. And they go silent to break that streak. Maybe you had several good days with them if you're really fortunate and it was going well. And then they're going to say, nah, I think I'm just going to ghost them. I'm not going to text, call. They're not going to be able to get a hold of me. And I'm just going to punish them a little bit. Just give them a little punishment. And the silent treatment is one of those amazing things that they do. My favorite way that they start silent treatment, though, is that they will do something incredibly heinous and cruel to you. And I could go through a litany of things. There's a million different things we know they do that are cruel. But let's say that they triangulated you right in front of your face with somebody at a restaurant or at a grocery store, because they do this all the time too. Then they will get upset at you if you act in any way weird about it. If you have any objection at all to the fact that they just triangulated you, they will then get upset with you and go silent. And guess how long they'll stay silent? Until you come groveling and apologize to them for something they did to you. But the silent treatment puts you in submission. The silent treatment's like a python that just wraps around you and slowly squeezes you until you cannot take it anymore. People like us cannot stand to be ignored and have silent treatment imposed upon us. It feels horrible. And they know sooner or later, because A, they don't care about you or me at all. So they can keep that show going as long as they want. They don't ever have to break it because they don't care. And they have other things going on behind your back. But us, we can't live that way. It's instability, it's chaos, and we have to break that silence. And so oftentimes, as sick as it was, because we were in that entanglement, we went and apologized to them for things they did to us to end the silent treatment. So those are some ways that they'll impose it. The second thing, though, why is the silent treatment so devastating? Why does it matter so much that they imposed it upon us? Well, there's reasons for this. The main reason I think it is so hard, there's actually a couple. One of the main reasons is you got so used to their attention. Narcissists love to shower you with attention, especially in that love bomb, where you were getting texted and phone calls and you were getting showered with things and attention and false praise and adoration stacked on top of itself. And then suddenly, when they go, absolutely quiet, crickets chirping, radio silence, you can't stand it because you're like, what just happened? This person who was giving me all this attention, all this validation, and then they're just gone? What is this? It's like a jolt to your system because you're so used to getting that from them that when they take it away very strategically, you just don't know what to do with yourself. You're sitting there looking at your phone, you're trying to work and you're looking at your phone. Nope, nope, nothing yet. Haven't heard anything yet. And then you open it up because you're like, well, maybe I just didn't hear the sound. Nope, there's no text there. It's been 5 hours. It's been 8 hours. It's been 24 hours. And it drives you absolutely nuts because you were so used to that person's attention that you have cognitive dissonance and you can't wrap your mind around it. Another reason why it is so devastating, because you're trauma bonded. A lot of people, guys, I've heard will say trauma bond's not a real thing. I've even heard narcissistic abuse coaches say it. The trauma bond's not a real thing. Heck, if it's not, I don't know how anybody who's been through it can say that. Maybe they haven't been through it. I don't call the trauma bond by that name. I call it the narcissistic spell because the trauma bond is basically a spell. It's a type of witchcraft that they put on you. And the reason you know that is because the way it makes you feel. It is so unnatural. The way you pine and yearn for that person is not a normal human emotion. Have you ever felt that in your life except with that person? I haven't. It's unlike anything. It's indescribable. There's no parallel. There's nothing to compare it to. Being under that spell that they call the trauma bond is a life wrecker. And that's what makes it so hard to get out. It's what makes it so hard to function. It scrambles your brain. There's so many things. But the biggest reason I think is that why the silent treatment's devastating is because you are under that person's spell. You're trauma bonded. They have taught us during that relationship, they taught us to need them, to be codependent upon them. We needed their affirmation. We needed their validation. This is one of the major satanic tricks that the narcissist pulls on you. They somehow take really wonderful people like ourselves, even people who are strong. They're so good at what they do that they can flip you around and get you in a place where you're pining for them and you need their validation. You need their validation for everything. So when they put you in that state and they know that you're in that state of existence because they've done this many, many times before. It's part of why they just don't think anyone's ever going to leave them. And they're shocked if you do because they're like, I had this person trauma bonded. I know I did. There's no way they just walked away from this. And they just can't believe it. So they understand that you're in that stage. And when they give you silence and the crickets are chirping, they understand that that's like dangling you from a hook over a fire. They're roasting some weenies sitting there watching you dangle over that fire. They're hearing the crackling and the burning of your flesh, and they love it. It delights them to no end. They know silent treatment is just like lighting you on fire and watching you burn, because that's what it feels like. When you're under the spell and you're trauma bonded and you are not hearing from this person at all and you can't reach them, indescribable punishment. Let me tell you guys something. And this is a shorter video, but there is nothing there's nothing more fun than sitting in a car with somebody who's ignoring you or sitting next to somebody on the love seat who's ignoring you. That is a joy. And I want to tell you that anybody, and I mean anybody, who is purposely utilizing silent treatment to destroy you does not, cannot, will not ever care about you. They just flat out will not. Someone who's willing to ghost you frequently for no reason, if you have pinpointed they are using silence as a destructive tool, then yes, they are most certainly a narcissist or some other very highly toxic cluster B type of person, but they don't care about you. If you guys are in a relationship right now where you are regularly getting silent treatment, know that that person does not care, and you have no course of action but to get out of that relationship. And I guarantee you, if they're giving you silent treatment, they're doing plenty of other things to you as well. Plenty of other things. Because anyone who's cruel enough to utilize that approach to destroy you is a callous, cruel, heartless human being. And also understand this, and I know that most of my viewers aren't going to do this, but if you are giving silent treatment to another person, even if it's unintentional, try to give that some thought. because it is a very cruel thing to do, even if you don't mean to do it. So, guys, the narcissists, of all their loaded weapons, they've got that whole trunk full of bazookas and flamethrowers and all that stuff. Silent treatment to me is kind of the flamethrower, because they've put you on that hook. They've gotten you used to their attention and validation. They've got you stuck in the spell, and then they put you up on that hook and they pull out that silent treatment flamethrower, and they hear the skin crackling. That's what they do with silent treatment. So it's utterly devastating. It's one of their many, many, many weapons, and they use it to perfection. And they've mastered that craft over the whole course of their lifetime. If you are getting silent treatment from somebody, get the heck out of the relationship. Case closed. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop comments below if you did. Share your silent treatment stories. How long did it last? Why did they do it? What did it feel like? Because I think we all gain from seeing other people's experiences. And you guys have some awesome comments. Keep them coming. So anyway, guys, appreciate you as always. And thanks for the suggestion, Jill. And come at you with another one soon. Until then, God bless.